So my first question for you is, when you first came into class today, you knew what the lesson was going to be about. What kinds of thoughts were on your mind regarding this topic?
Well, I did the homework last night, so I kind of knew today we would be talking about it, and I just thought that it was really controversial. Like, it causes conflicts, not in the classroom, but it's like people each have different opinions. Like, some people thought that it was mainly about one group owning the land and about another group. It was just really a controversial subject.
Did you feel anxiety about the subject as well, or?
Not really, but I thought that maybe if it came up and I was asked, what do I think, that there would, of course, be people to oppose it. So, yeah, I just thought it would bring up, the opinions, I guess, would start up, something.
Right. Did you feel like you had sort of formed your own opinions before class, or were you waiting to see, or?
Well, yeah, I kind of formed my own opinions before class.
Yeah. What kind of thoughts did you have?
Well, I thought that I was kind of torn in between the two, because I thought one group was forced out so that they would of course be angry and want their land back.
Right.
But then I thought, one of the students in the class said that things change, so it's not going to remain the same. It's not going to be your land anymore. So, yeah, I was kind of stuck in between my decision.
Right. I mean, it's a very complicated problem, so it's hard to say there was a clear. So we really are we picking up too much sound from the other group? It's loud, right? Do you think if in a video, just focusing on her one microphone and not mine, it'll be enough that at least they can hear what she's saying, even if there's a lot of noise in the background?
I think so. Between words and
okay. I think we just have to roll with it, unfortunately. Yeah, sorry. We're trying to figure out how to deal with all the noise in the room because we're both talking, and you and I are quiet talkers, and those guys are loud talkers. All right, here we go. So question number 2 is why? So Ms. Severino had a lesson plan and everything. Why do you think she wanted you to learn this subject?
I think because I think it's still popular today. The subject itself still today would cause strong opinions, and I think that people in the class who have different religions and different thoughts about the subject. So I think she wanted to hear everyone's thoughts and to settle out the story, because eventually we're going to hear the different sides of the story. So I think she wanted to basically set it out what we would be talking about and just see everyone's point of view.
Right. So today was more of a general kind of introduction to the idea, and get to know it and stuff. Do you feel like that happened in class today?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So she kind of set it up with this scenario, right? That, imagine it's your house and this has happened, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that was a good way, or not was it a good way, but did it get you thinking about this specific historical example?
Yeah, because it relating it to life now can make you feel more it can bring out your opinions more. If she had started it out and talked about the subject flat out first, I think maybe it would have been harder to relate to it or to express my feelings about it. But I think by putting it in a way that everyone can understand it. So everyone has a house or a home that they live in and being forced out. So I think the students would relate to it more, and that would make them be easier to open up about how they feel.
Right. And she also, I remember her saying, connecting it to some other examples in history where similar things have happened. Have you guys studied other things like that?
Yes, we studied India and the conflict between the Hindus and the Muslims in Pakistan, and it was almost the same situation. And in Africa, in South Africa, with the different tribes fighting against each other for the territory. So we studied things like relating to this.
Yeah. Do you remember feeling that same sort of conflict and anxiety when you were studying those things?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a similar approach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think those are good analogies, those different countries with this current example that you were studying?
Yeah, because I almost feel like it's the same situation, but it's just, it's not the same situation, but it's the same predicament, but it's just different, like different views, different places.
Right.
So I think it's the same situation. So I was like easier to relate to it because I had learned about it in other places before.
Gotcha. So then she started talking about the sort of the evolution of the Israeli state and how different things kind of happened that led up to it. What did you think about all of the various international forces that were involved in the creation of the Jewish state?
I think that it just, like before when we've learned about like other topics, we've learned that like the allies and the enemies of different countries and states, like how they get involved with things like this. So, and it happens like often when there's a conflict between another state gets in, and like it becomes something more international. So I think with this topic it was the same thing. And like I said, I could understand it more because we studied it and we knew that it often happens where someone else, another country or other parts of the world get involved in things like this, so yeah.
Do you think it's a good thing or not a good thing when other countries get involved in these situations? Based on these stuff you've seen already?
I don't think it's always a good thing because it sometimes it increases the tensions and sometimes it benefits, like it helps. It'll play like a peacemaker kind of role, but in other circumstances they end up choosing sides and it becomes like a big war, so.
Right. Had you been aware of the sort of current conflict between Palestine and Israel in the news lately?
No, not really. I've heard of it, but I wasn't like, I didn't really understand it like that. Right. Like the lesson kind of cleared it up for me, what exactly was going on.
Right. And it's still a very international situation to this day.
Yeah.
Lots of players and stuff. Okay, so that was the sort of the next phase. Now the phase after that is partition, right? And the country's divided up, and then a war happens. So, what did you think about? What were you thinking when she? What was in your mind when she took you guys over to the map and showed all the alignment of the other countries and stuff?
I think using like that as a visual definitely helped like to show exactly what was going on, because by showing like where it was divided and which land was closer to the water and had like more access to resources and things like that, I think that showed just which group benefited more and which group would cause, how it would cause the other group to, I guess, catch like feelings about it and how they would react to it. So I think it definitely helped that she showed the map.
Did you know about those other countries' situations before this lesson, or?
No, I didn't. So it kind of cleared it up for me.
It was helpful, yeah.
I think it's a good thing because,
So I noticed also that Ms. Severino split you guys up, or had you talk to a neighbor during the class. How did that go for you?
It was good because, like sometimes it's like you can't, when you can't form your own opinion, like when you're kind of confused about it, most likely the person next to you, the person around you that you're sitting with, like bringing us both together, I guess, like together we'll figure it out. So it's a little bit more helpful, and sometimes they know more than you and they can help you, and sometimes it's like vice versa. So it definitely like socializing with each other, it helps to learn it more sometimes.
You can like compare your notes and figure out, make a more complete picture.
Yeah.
Does it ever happen that you disagree with each other on something, or?
Yeah, but it's not like a big deal. Like it happens like civilly, like nothing gets out of control. Usually it happens and sometimes even if there's a disagreement, it's like I learn from what they're, like I can be in their point of view and they can be in mine. So in a way kind of benefit from each other's disagreement.
Right. So eventually you kind of come to an understanding,
Yeah.
talking to each other.
Yeah.
And then when you kind of come back to the class, do you take turns talking, or is it just whoever raises their hand, or?
Yeah, it's more like, yeah, like whoever raises their hands, whoever wants to say what they, like what exactly they thought about it. It's basically like a random thing.
Okay. Okay. Do you feel like you talk a lot in class?
No, not really. I mean, no, not really.
Yeah.
But it's not because I don't understand it. I think it's just me. I guess the personality that I have, I'm just not, I wouldn't offer to answer the question or be like more outspoken, but no, I don't really participate that much.
Right. You speak when you
Yeah.
feel like you really want to.
Yeah.
Do you disagree, do you think, with some of the things your other classmates say?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Do you feel like you need to talk when that happens, or?
Usually if like someone says something that it's like more than one person will disagree with what they say. Like there will be a group that says one thing and the other group or another group of people will object to it and say what they think and why they disagree with it. So usually it's like I don't even have to stand in because someone shares the same feelings. Yeah.
Will you guys talk about this stuff, you think, later today or before class tomorrow? Like, does it come up in conversation, or is it?
Sometimes, yeah. Like if we're beyond the subject of what happened in the class today, we'll bring up what we thought and how we didn't agree with what someone else thought. So yeah, it comes up sometimes.
Okay. Would you go like look something up maybe, or is there any like interest in seeing like what else is out there on the topic? Yeah. Where do you go?
Well, Miss Severino gave us a reference to a website called Frontline or on PBS or something.
Yeah,
and like watching that, she was saying how she was like really interested in it and how she wanted us to do it for current events and bring it up and like to basically show about the topic that we learned this week, what the website was saying about it. So like just looking at it for current events sometimes, like it'll cause me to look at other videos even though it's not for the homework, just out of curiosity and like interest.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah, well, it all connects to the present day. So now that you've been introduced to the whole idea of the creation of Israel, like what are some of the arguments now, pro and con? What did you walk away with?
Well, I do realize that with the topic we learned today,
today's topic.
I think that, like I said, I think like a pro is that in one group it's like you can imagine being forced out. Or imagine if you were in their spot. So I did learn that the one group would obviously feel some kind of way if they were forced out of their land. But then at the same time, I understood that, like another student said, that like change happens. So it comes back to when Ms. Severino used the example about our houses. Like if we were to sell a house now and someone lives in it, we can't come back 15 years later and want the house back. So it definitely like helped me understand the bad part and at the same time like get a level of both sides.
So in terms of there being a need for a state, though, there had been sort of the Zionist movement from the 19th century, and then suddenly with the Holocaust there was a real need to have a state. Like, did you see like the pros and cons of caused by that situation?
Yeah, because it's like the people who were there wanted the land, and of course they felt like it's our property. But I think it goes to show that even in a situation like that, there's some kind of sympathy that's felt, because at the same time, it's like when they were going through the Holocaust, they did need a homeland. They did need somewhere to come back to for like hope and security. So I think that it showed that even though they were against each other in a way, like they understood them at the same time.
Did you, was there anything that you learned about the state of Israel that you didn't know before this then? Or?
No, basically everything I had known before.
You had known?
Yeah.
So now you have a lesson tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any specific questions that you want to see answered or things that you'd like to do?
because it doesn't make them.
Not really.
Not yet.
No, not
Yeah.
yet.
Okay. Do you have homework for tonight?
Yeah.
What do you have to do? Do you know?
I think it's just like basically a review. No, usually when we do homework, we learn like something new
Okay.
that is gonna like prepare us for the next day's lesson.
Right.
So I think it's gonna be like the same thing, but like more in depth.
Okay, and maybe more current after,
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah,
first
after
four.
yeah.
Okay. So what was the most helpful thing for you from today's lesson? Of all the things that you saw, Miss Severino's presentation, her questions, her discussion topics for you guys. Is there anything that really resonated with you?
Yeah, I think I learned that. I think I learned that basically, even though they were in their situation, that like, I don't know, both sides had a really good point, and that it was like at the end I still don't know like which the Jews or the Arabs, because it was like, I don't know, I felt for both sides, so I learned a lot about what their point of view was and what the other point of view was. So yeah, it was basically at the end I still couldn't make up my mind as to which group was more like I would more agree with, but yeah, basically I got a point of view from both sides.
Yeah, well that sounds good. Well, it sounds like you have something to look forward to tomorrow.
Yeah,
then.
I do.
That's great. Okay. Well, I think those guys are wrapping up now as well. So we're done for now. Oh, could you say your name one time for the camera?
Jody Ann Maxwell.
Okay, Jody Ann Maxwell, we got it. So thank you very much, and we'll do this again tomorrow after the lesson, okay?
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Okay.